Hello, guys. Welcome to today's episode. If you're new here, my name is Kumi. You're on the Kumi Long Traveling and Lifestyle channel. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I really appreciate you guys. I'm so excited. I'm very excited that actually what I wanted to do, there are people who are going to benefit from it. I have a couple of people who already said that they were not aware of such opportunities and the information I'm sharing. And I just thought, initially when I was starting this channel, I thought, let me share how the nice stuff, the fun stuff that we get to do in Japan, as a family and as individuals and whatever. And I thought, but wait, why don't I study the formalities? Because first of all, you as a person who's watching, you'll be wondering, yeah, we see all this fun that you're having, but how do you get there? So I already started sharing about opportunities to work, which is you can come here and teach English. And today's episode, I just want to take you guys through the 2 scholarship opportunities that you can pursue and come and study in Japan. By the way, I am studying in Japan myself. I did come here to study in Japan, but I'm not on a scholarship. It's a story for another day. I will explain because it's part of my big, huge testimony that I really want to share on this channel one of these good days. And yeah, I must also say that I'm in the busy season of my life right now. It would be difficult for me to have sit downs and shoot material. I will try by all means to do all the shootings. But in the space of not being able to do a lot of sit downs, I do have material that I would like to share with you guys so that you can see the fun we get to have in Japan. And today's episode, I just wanted to touch on the 2 scholarships, the MEXT scholarship and the JICA scholarship. These are the 2 scholarships that I know of that I tried pursuing, that I looked into their requirements and stuff like that. And my husband got awarded the JICA scholarship, which is how he got to come and study in Japan himself. Yeah, so the JICA and the MEXT scholarship, they are facilitated by the government of Japan, the Japanese government, with the various governments that they have agreements with. So how that works is that you apply through their offices. They do have the offices in South Africa for JICA, and also for MEXT, you can apply directly to MEXT, or you do have facilitators. Because I remember after I got in with my supervisors at the time, they're like trying to get me to follow the process for MEXT and stuff like that. But both scholarships, what I must tell you is that if you apply for university and you get taken, you won't go through the scholarships. In order for you to be part of the scholarship, you need to apply to the scholarships directly. So if you do what I've done and apply on your own and then you want to try and get a scholarship afterwards, it doesn't work like that. They won't entertain you. They are not part of whatever. So how it works is that you apply through them. The only thing you do on your own or on the site is go and look for the requirements for the courses that you want to study. Check, do I qualify for these courses? Do I meet the requirements? And which ones are offered in English? And also, where do I want to live in Japan when I want to come and study here? So that's an assignment and homework that you do on the site, but you don't pursue anything. You don't start application with the university, because once the scholarship finds out, then they are not going to be part of it. So look at the requirements on their website. I'm going to leave their links in the description box below. Please go check. How it works is that you apply through them. Then they ask you, where would you like to study? Which courses would you like to study? So don't make that mistake of going ahead and applying before you go through the scholarships. So yeah, that's how it works with the scholarships. And then they then facilitate everything for you. They have a couple of steps that they list in their process. They say, first you need to shortlist, because there's a lot of people who are applying for these opportunities, but not that much. I don't think a lot of people really know about this, not thousands and thousands. Yeah, but there are a number of people who are really applying for these opportunities, because I remember my husband had to go through all those phases with JICA. Then they tell you you've passed phase 1, now you're going to phase 2, up until the phase where they call you to come for interviews. They will require a couple of things from you. First of all, like I said, you need to meet the requirements of the courses you're applying for. If the course you're applying for, they want you to have 16 years of education, which is how they count it, by the way, in Japan. before you do your master's degree, they say, have you studied for 16 years, the entire time from your elementary school or primary school up until now? Have you done 16 years of studies? So you can count and say, yeah, it's been 16 years. But how that works is that if you have spread maybe your BTech into 2 years because you're doing it part-time, that's 1 year. It's a 1 year course that you decided to do it in 2 years because you're committed. So you can't count that as year 1 and year 2 because it's a 1 year thing. So make sure you count correctly, because in Japan, that's how they count. I don't think they really care much about the titles, what we call whatever degrees we bring from our countries. They just want to know, does it form 16 years before they take it for master's degree? For PhD, does it add up to 18 years, including the 2 years of your PhD? Of your master's, does it add to 18 years? Then they can take you for PhD. For PhD also, they need a GPA score to be a good one. In terms of percentage, you need to be about 75% and going up. Even for masters, you need to be performing, guys. Don't play around when you're doing your undergrads. Don't get to listen to people who tell you a person who passes with 40-something% and the person who passes with 100%, we are all going to end up the same and blah, blah, blah. Some people want to pursue their studies further. However, they are blocked by how they performed before, because that's your history. It tells the scholarship facilitators how you take your studies serious. And imagine them now trying to bring you abroad and give you this opportunity to come study, and then you're going to come here and be that sloppy and not pass. So yeah, I'm just putting it as a side note, but I'm not saying that you'll be rejected based on your results. I'm saying that people who perform well, they will be prioritized. They will make it into programs. They will make it into scholarships. Even for university, they will reject you because of the marks that are not looking good. So please perform to your best. And then with MEXT, you can also start studying your undergrad degrees. And with that, I know that you need to study Japanese first. There's a couple of students that I met here who say they've been here in Japan for quite some time. They started by studying the language, the Japanese language. And then once they mastered the language, now they studied the undergrads and proceeded with the postgrads. So you apply through the scholarship facilitators in your country, or you can find them through the university if you approach them through the university that you're interested in. I was channeled to MEXT once I applied in Kyoto University. Unfortunately, because of whatever reasons, they had already taken people. I applied. Really, guys, I must do an episode of how I got into Kyoto University, because really it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Even to date, I'm still asking myself, like, did I just get in? Like, did all that happen? Really, did everything that happened happen? Yeah, but anyway, I will do an episode on them. So you do apply through the scholarship facilitators, then they facilitate everything for you, even getting your visa to enter the country. They do that for you. Once they award you the scholarship, then they tell you, please bring us 1, 2, 3, 4 documents. So if you are a self-funding student like me, I go and apply for my visa at the Japanese embassy in South Africa. What they required of me, they did not require that when my husband was going through the scholarship, because the scholarships there is his host. They are saying, we are hosting this guy. We are going to be giving him stipend. He will survive in Japan. He will have money because we will give him money every month. So they're like begging you even to get your own visa. So the scholarships are much nicer it's a nicer route to take. So with me, when I was doing my own, which is, I will explain in detail what I was required, my own visa, I was required to prove that I do have money and I will survive in Japan and I will be able to feed myself every day. Where will I be staying? How much money will sustain me? And blah, 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 and all those things, because I did not have a scholarship. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But yeah, with the scholarships, they facilitate everything for you. They give you a stipend to live on every month. They book your flight tickets to come and to go back home. Unfortunately, you're not going to go home whenever the school breaks and stuff. And with the scholarship, there are restrictions. Once you get out of the country, they count your scholarship stipend per day. They say for days you were not in the country, they don't give you money because you were not here where they are hosting you. If you decide to go and they know that you went somewhere, then you don't get the money for that particular time. If you leave Japan and go somewhere and come back, you might try and do that. They might know, and then, yeah. So there are those kind of restrictions. And then the other thing is that they subsidize your medical insurance. With the health insurance in Japan, we all contribute, and then there's a 30% that every citizen contributes, but then that gets taken care of. So you don't pay that. Your host, which is your scholarship, they pay that for you. So with my husband, they pay that for him. And then with me, I had to pay that for myself. And then I'll explain where the kids fell in between when I explain the whole requirements of the visa requirements and stuff like that, which is shortly after this episode, because I just want to get done with the formalities and get them out of the way. And then the other thing that they do is that if you decide not to live in the dormitory, in the university dormitory, because I mean, being this old and having a family and you want to go and live in the university dormitory, I mean, come on. This young student, they are wilding. They are like wilding. Guys, my husband had to live in the dormitory while he was looking for accommodation for us before we came. And for that 3 months, he was getting the shock of his life. And he even was saying like, guys, were we behaving like this when we were doing our undergrad, like some 15, 16 years ago? Were we behaving like this, like go and get wasted, come back in the morning, the shared spaces, the kitchen, the bathrooms, the toilets, the vomit everywhere, all those kind of things. Like these children are wild and they go to clubs and do all sorts of things. You want to ask yourself, as a master's or PhD student, I don't see myself staying in a dormitory. So if you don't want to stay in the dormitory, of course, your host will then say, wherever you want to go to stay, they would want a guarantor to say, if this person doesn't pay their rent, who do we go after? Because you're not here employed, you're here to study. Someone invited you and they're hosting you. So they will be your guarantor on top of all the other things that they're doing for you, giving you a stipend, paying your medicals, the 30% medical, then you don't pay anything towards the medical because they're subsidizing you. And also they then would facilitate the process of your family coming over. In the scholarship forms, they say they recommend, it's not casting stone that your family will come 6 months later. They recommend that at least get used to the whole vibe, environment, and get your family coming over later on. But if you want your family to come earlier, like my husband wanted us to come earlier than the recommended time, he goes to them and say, my family, I want my children to be my dependent, to depend on me. And then they facilitate for our children to get the certificate of eligibility to say they are going to be depending on their father. We are hosting their father, but they will be depending on their father. So they do help with that as well. And then they will then help you meet the requirements of immigration office, because immigration office in Japan is very thorough. They are very thorough. They don't leave any stone unturned. They don't just leave anything lying around. So yeah, those are the two scholarships, guys. The benefits of them is that they facilitate everything for you. They pay your flight tickets to come and to go back to your home country. And then also in between the stipend and them paying your flight tickets and subsidizing your medicals, they also do have benefits that if you want to know of, you need to read the handbook of that particular time. They might state that we can buy you resources. You have research fund. You can travel to another country to go do your research. Then you claim from your funds. Or you can buy textbooks, or you can buy a laptop, but you won't own that laptop. When you leave, you will have to return it to them. That's what my husband did, because we needed additional laptops. When COVID hit, we needed additional laptops, and then he was able to access the money, get additional laptop. So it then helped him up until he's done in Japan. And then they will then own it and then maybe use it for whatever purpose and reasons. So yeah, there are those benefits, and then they help you first meet the requirements when you want to bring your family over. And yeah, so those are the two scholarships, guys. They are very efficient. I think people who are on them, they are able to live a normal life. They are able to have enough money to eat and to pay for their accommodation. Obviously, if you wanna live within your means, look at the accommodation options that will allow you to live within your means. Don't go and want to splash all the money of allowance on accommodation. Then the next thing you don't have money for food, because if you move out of the dormitory, which is a cheaper option by the way, you will have to now set up your own internet. If you move to a place that doesn't have one, you have to pay for your own Wi-Fi, your own cell phone, your own water and energy bills and stuff like that. Whereas if you're in a dormitory or in a share house, those things are already part of your rental. And in the dormitory, the rent is way too cheap. In Kyoto University, we do have the international houses, which are much decent. They are quite spacious. They are very decent. However, I did not want to stay there because, like I said, I'm an adult. I don't want to be staying in the dormitory at my age, or even with a family. How are you even going to do that? Yeah, with other researchers as well, they do have accommodations that can accommodate couples and children. But we wanted to live in a community. They do have the 3 bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms, but they are limited. Also, they are reserved for researchers who are just coming here purely for research. Yeah, so those are the two scholarships. If you want to pursue them, guys, go through the links. Also make inquiries. It's not a quick thing that is going to get you here right now. The intakes, there are 2 times of intakes. The universities in Japan, they start in April and also in September. So when you're pursuing this, just bear in mind that you can start your courses, or your course also might be starting at a certain time. So when you're pursuing this scholarship, just be mindful that you're not going to get in tomorrow. So be proactive. Like right now, you hear about the scholarship and you start planning and say, next year, I want to have all the requirements ready. I want to have my transcripts and my academic records. Transcript is a document that describes everything that you were taught and in detail, what was it? Not just the name of the course and the marks you got. That's a academic record, how you performed in this particular course. So these 2 things are requirements. In other cases, you're going to be required to have an English proficiency test that tells you can write in English, academic English proficiency test. I had to do that for my university intake. I had to do academic English writing test, which also I then passed. I practiced for a few days and then I went and wrote and then passed. Yeah, but I'll explain when I do the episode on how I got into Kyoto University. So yeah, those things are the requirements, and yeah, just check, because I don't want to sit here and do a video of these are definitely the requirements, because these things I've realized they do change, they do get amended, they do get modified, they do get something get added on, something gets minused, or I don't know. From the time I checked when I was back in my home country and now before I started doing the episode, I was like, and also maybe COVID made them to change certain things. I don't know. So it's better for me to just, to be safe, go through their website. Also, if you have questions, don't just be frustrated and whatever. Go through the frequently asked questions. If whatever you're still curious about or you want to know about is not part of the frequently asked questions, you take the contact details of whoever is listed there, email them, or better yet, call them, because people are busy with the emails, or you can ask for an appointment and say, I want to inquire about this. They will give you the time of the day because that's their job, that's what they're doing. You put your case forward instead of asking someone else and say, my qualifications are looking like this. You ask them directly, because I would not know. I know that my qualifications, what they look like, and I understood the requirements, and I thought, I do meet the requirements. It's just that how I went about it is that I did not go through the scholarships. I missed the bus, I missed the dates, but I did not miss the dates on applying for my course. So which is how I ended up being a self-funding student, which I'm fine with it anyway. So I'm going to give a testimony on that. Please stick around on this channel. You don't want to miss this one. Like, you don't want to miss this one. It's such a huge testimony. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please, guys, subscribe.